I can't make this stuff up. Can't make this stuff up. Let the room fill up. Yeah. All right. Yo, they say ain't no party like a cowboy party, 'cause a cowboy party don't stop. Yeah. We not giving up, right? It's one of those things, Cowboy Nation. Turn me up.
You get nothing. You lose.
All right, Cowboy Nation, that's enough of that. Really appreciate you all for tuning in. My name is Law Nation, L-A-W Nation. I really appreciate you, JT. Shout out to you, Tori. Shout out to you, Kid, Lorenzo, Jared. Really appreciate you as well. Here's the situation, Cowboy Nation. Here's the situation that we got to look at from here. We got to look at it like we just ready for the season to get over with, right? We ready to get back to the normal things of life, right? Let me know if you guys can hear me well. Give me the thumbs up if you can. Let me know if you can hear me. This is a situation whereas, man, it's like crashing and burning over there in Philly land. They talking about getting rid of their quarterback. They talking about it's not the quarterback fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's everything from A to Z fault, but it's not Carson Wentz fault. I heard the announcer say, hey, it's the offensive line fault. It's the wide receiver fault. It's the coaching fault. I'm sitting there like, man, well, it's not his fault. So it is what it is. That is right, Ali. You know, so Jay Form, the only game Philly will win is week 15. Well, we'll see. We'll find out because at this point, we looking at this team, and I'm not trying to sit here and say, okay, well, Cowboy Nation, we look good as a team, but normally it will be the battle between the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC East. Now this thing done flipped upside down on his head, and now all of a sudden we're seeing it just as it is right now. Let me get the chat box up so you guys can be here forever in space. There we go. Let me set up the room just a little bit better so that I can read your comments, man. Too many excuses for Wentz. They tried. Yeah, it's a lot of it. It's a lot of it, Cowboy Nation. It's a lot of excuses. And I'm sitting here like, well, when we was going through that situation with our quarterback, they were saying like, nah, he can do it without number one wide receivers. He can do it without the tight end. He can do it with a running back versus committee. They talking about Carson. But now he get the full flavor of everything. Now he can't. Oh, my goodness. Tracy says Dak's worst year was 2017. I feel you on that, dog. I feel you on that. We went 9-7 2017, though, right? You know, Danucci is clutch. We'll find out what he going to do. And this is not me celebrating, you know, for the Eagles' loss and pointing fingers because of the Eagles' loss. But this is me gloating a little bit on the Eagles' loss. I can't stand the Eagles. Everybody know I can't stand them. And when they lose, I'm winning, right? You know, and that's just how I look at it. That's how I view it. Law, if we went out, we would be 8-8. That's a big if. The things are falling right in line for the Cowboys to be 8-8, right? Right? It's falling right in line for us to be 8-8, but not saying that we're going to be 8-8, if that makes any sense. It's falling right in line for us to be 8-8, but not saying that we're going to be 8-8. Let me say it again. It's falling in line. Like, if everything was okay, this would have been the year for we to run off with it, right? With our quarterback gone, our offensive linemen are all in shambles. Our wide receivers are intact, but we have nobody to throw them the ball. I looked at the tape. Everybody saying, I was listening to the announcers. Everybody saying, "Oh, the Washington team front four is just dangerous," but their secondary is so trash. It's like, yeah, their front four is cool and all, but when I looked at everything, I'm sitting there like, man, the opportunities were there. And watch, when the Washington team play a legitimate team that can throw the ball down the field, they're gonna light them up like a Roman candle. They are. They're going to light them up. And I'm not talking about the Washington team in a negative connotation. I'm just saying what it is, what it is. The luckiest play Super Bowl ever. Yeah, Ali. Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure even 7 wins is enough to win this division this season if it get any worse. Oh, wow. Yeah, it could be. It could be just that. We just got to win our games. It's from Eric Electric. It's a situation whereas we want to win our games. We want to look at this philosophy and say, yeah, we would like to do that. Somebody said, oh, Rodriguez, come on now. You saying bring back Tony Romo. Candace Romo would not allow that to happen, especially looking at this offensive line. If Romo was hurt with the good offensive line, you can only imagine what he would do with this particular offensive line. And he have not been playing it for a minute, right? And he can barely play 19 holes in golf, right? So it's just one of those, 18, where he can barely play 18 holes in golf. I think that it's just what it is. JT, we need Dak. We need a quarterback. Yeah, Dak. We do need Dak. The Eagles are sorry. JR, it is what it is. So, looking at the schedule, they pushed the Ravens game back to a Tuesday night. You know what they wanted to do? You know the late night hype is on a Tuesday night. See, they want us to have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Ravens on the late night hype. That's what it is, right? What's up to you, JT? What's up to you, Paul and Aaron? He throws like a first-year quarterback. You're talking about, I want to say, and then let me see this thing right here. I want to say Carson Wentz. That's what you're talking about, right? Law Stop Selling Dreams from Eastside. Harrow, look, Eastside, regardless of how you put it, you a Cowboys fan, fam. It's 11 o'clock where I'm at. You got, unless you're a Law Nation fan, you got to be at this point. Because there's no way in life, if there's a YouTuber that's got Houston content, there's no way in life somebody can pay me money to watch them. I couldn't do it. But shout out to you, man. I really appreciate you so much for tuning in to the nation. How's it going, Kent? It's going good. It's smooth over here, fam. It's great. I'm sitting back. I'm looking at the reviews of the tape. I'm looking at players who we can probably go out there and draft for the future years or what have you. And I'm looking at everything and I'm sitting there like, okay, give me defense. I know that everybody's in love with offense, and I know offense sells seats, butts and seats, and I know that. I love that aspect of it. But give me that dog and dirty, that grit, that grind, that nasty, that ugly, that pathetic, that I'm going to punch you in your mouth, leave you with raggedy teeth, talking about like piano mouth around here. Give me that type of defense. Give me the type of defense, whereas when you walk into Big D, when you walk into Dallas Cowboys land, you sitting there like, man, we won, but dog it, we can't play next week because all of our guys.
This is Sparta!
That's what I want. I want that type of stuff. And then we really play these horns. And that's what I really want. I want us to do that. J. Form Romo wasn't helping Dak Prescott his rookie year. Yeah, that was more so of Mark Sanchez and other guys. It wasn't Romo. Andre Cisco. Yeah, I got a chance to look at some of his stuff. I'm going to move around to the safeties in the latter part. I did bring out Tyson Campbell, and I did look at Eric Stokes, and I think that people were kind of getting it mixed up. That video was like, okay, a lot of people was like, hey, we don't need these guys. I'm not saying when you're prospecting, here's the thing about the off season and draft. The low hanging fruit, like the players that everybody is going to be like already accustomed to seeing. And this is not how you win in the draft. You know, all of those players that everybody, like the Sewells of the world, the Patrick Surtains and the Caleb Farleys, everybody loved those guys. Or even with the quarterback world, the Lawrence kid and the Justin Fields. That's good and all. You know, everybody can see that those guys should be in the first round. But where I like to draft, I'm different. You know, I like to draft when it's second and third round, where the meat is at. You know, that's where you get your real players, when you really evaluate and seeing who really the dogs are out there. Yes, everybody can look at the first round talent and be like, yeah, this first round talent. But I'm not saying that I want to look for a diamond in the rough. This is not Aladdin over here. But I would rather start from the back end, evaluate the players that people say they're not going to be able to make it. Not saying that you go out there and champion Xavier Woods and Donovan Wilson of the worlds. But what I'm saying is that I like to go out there and really look at people tape and see what they can't do, see how they need to improve on, and see what they can, you know, really work out the kinks. I love the fact that when you look at it, at the Carlton Banks, the Banks kid over there, for the Buccaneers. I love the fact that his tape is just flourishing out there. He's doing wonderful things as it relates to the collegiate level. But a lot of people didn't have him high on their draft boards. I love the fact that I said, yeah, this guy's good, you know? So that's how I look at everything. Where's going to the Hall of Fame? He's supposed to be in the Hall of Fame. Jerry World sucked. This is from Rodriguez. Interesting in Lawrence, if anything, still prefer Dak. This is Abbas. My thing is, Lawrence, he may be the next best thing. He may be the next Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on what team he goes to. Law, can the Cowboys trade up with the Jets? I don't know. I flat out don't know. I think that the Jets and the Cowboys got bad blood. I think that the Cowboys really wanted Jamal Adams, but the Jets got greedy, and I think that they're going to look at it like this and be like, I don't know. I really, really, really don't know. I don't think that they'll be dancing partners, though. Oh, y'all saw Jamal? Yeah, did y'all see Jamal tonight? He had Carson Wentz running for his life. He was over there sticking players when they did catch the ball in the backfield or when they was on the flats. He was making sure that he was an impact guy and letting you know that, hey, I may not could cover like you like a small jacket or a cheap suit, but I will make you pay for coming across the middle. Justin Simmons possibilities is from Tracy. Look, Justin Simmons got 4 interceptions this year, and he's on a bad team. I think that the Cowboys really need to pick up the phone and say, okay, we understand that you guys would like to keep him, but we going to figure out a way to pay him. So let him get over, let him get over here to Dallas land. Boy, I can only close my eyes and imagine with his level of production, even though he's on a bad team, of what he would do over here in Cowboys land. Ooh, that'll be nice. Zach Wilson, yes, he's pretty cold. Yeah, he's pretty cold with it. Didn't get a look at everything, but he's pretty cold from what I can see, the limited what I was able to see. Jerry failed us all always. This is from Aaron Miller. Here's the thing with Jerry, and it's problematic. It's very problematic because the problem is with Jerry is it's hard. Like it's hard to find people that make $80,000 a year, $90,000 a year, and you talk to them and you tell them what to do. It's hard to tell those guys what to do. Jerry Jones make billions and billions of dollars a year. So when you go out there and you tell him, hey, these are the things that you are doing wrong at, these are the things that you need to improve on, Jerry then in return, he just give you this.
You get nothing.
You get nothing from him. This is what Jerry does. He is a guy that say, hey, I'm right. I'm the one. I saw an arrogant interview with him before on one of these stations and networking. He was saying that, hey, I'm the one that picks out the colors for the color of the Gatorade. I'm the one that do this. I'm the one that do that. I'm the one to make the end all be all, right? And that's just how Jerry Jones is. He is a guy that's going to sell things. Patrick Queen, he's already gone. JT, I know you're talking about from last year. One way to save money is to keep Dak and more sponsorships. You got to elaborate on that one. But I feel you, though. I feel you. Akeem, actually, there are a few players on the Ravens that's tested positive for the COVID-19. Yeah, there are a few guys on the Ravens that tested positive for that. They still got to play this week so that we can play them next week. So I want to know how that game is going to go about. And will it be a situation in the scenario whereas the Ravens, it can be one of those things like we got to run somebody out there for the nature and the sake of football, and they have their B and C players out there, and it may be a situation like I said. Watch this. Watch the Cowboys beat the Ravens, right? It'd probably be some water guy, water boy throwing the football to Dez Bryant out there, and there's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching, and it's going to sell a lot of tickets. Watch, Tuesday night, they testing the waters, right? And we're going to see how this thing roll out from here. Law, I'm saying that Jerry should have kept Jason Garrett. I think Jerry did a bad signing by McCarthy. This is from Jonathan. Let me see if I can read it all the way, Jonathan. Let me see. It went too fast for me. Yeah, it became this Q&A session show right here. My thing is, if I can put it in these terms, if I can put it in these ways, if I can get you guys to understand this right here. If Jerry and company were to do things the right and proper way, and allowed the interview processing to go longer than, what it went like 1 week. They want to interview one person, and that was to solidify the Rooney Rule, and he was an in-house candidate. To me, that's a slap in your face. I don't believe in it. I don't like it. It's just a crazy way to do the crazy, quote-unquote, the affirmative action, but I don't like it at all. For them to say, okay, we're going to sit here, we're going to interview Chris Richard, although we have no chance or no possibilities or really wanting Chris Richard, but we're going to interview him so we can get our minority candidate out the way, and then we're going to hire Mike McCarthy. In a sense, the world of karma said, okay, you're going to do that? No worries, no doubt, we're going to pay you back. And my thing is with Mike McCarthy, if he said that, okay, Mike McCarthy is his guy, and he said that, okay, this is the first person we saw and it's the first person we love, then we're at the mercy seat of the Joneses for falling on the sword, because they should at least did their homework and considered and brought in multiple people. Maybe get some more examples so you can go off of. But kicking Jason Garrett out of the building, revamping everything on his offense and defense, and bringing in Chris Richard just for a fake interview and say, okay, yeah, man, we got our minority interview out the way, and then you call Big Mike McCarthy in and you bring in all of his contemporaries. It just didn't go right for us, right? But the only thing that I can say is that this year been so crazy due to the no OTAs, due to no training camp, due to the simple fact that you got the COVID always murking and lurking around, and you got all of these crazy injuries. Could be karma, but you got all of these crazy injuries that happen and occur. And now you sit back and say, well, Mulligan. We gave Jason Garrett 10 years. We can at least give Mike McCarthy his 1 year and whatever his contract is, right? Right? Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me see. We didn't need Mike McCarthy, free Urban Meyer. Look, the thing is, when I said Urban, and when I said this offseason, when I was talking about Urban Meyer, so many people bring up his personal life. And I said, well, shoot, all he does is build programs. Wherever he went, he was successful, right? He was in Florida, he was successful. In Utah, he was successful, semi-successful. And then we went into Ohio, he was successful. I said, dude know how to build programs. Let's get him into the house and see if he can build this program. For dog, sure, the last time I saw Ezekiel Elliott holding a trophy, hell, it was because Urban Meyer was his coach, right? Let me know if I'm wrong. We need Patricia. I don't know. I don't know about him. Well, put it like this. You know, sometimes when you're looking for a head coach, and I got to say this right here, when you're looking for a head coach, 9 times out of 10, the best angle that I would like for the Cowboys to go at, or would have, if they didn't want to do the new thing like the college coach bringing them in, and that was the last time we won a Super Bowl, by the way, from a college coach. Just saying, you know, Bear Switcher, that was with somebody else's roster. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? But here's the situation. Normally, if you're going to hire a coach and you were going to look at everything and you did your homework properly, I would have rather for this team to go get one of those hot coaches that was hot doing some things. Like even though, you know, I can't stand the 49ers, but that Robert, what's his name, Salah? Yeah, I hope I said the man's name right. Maybe you call him up for a cup of coffee. Or maybe you call one of those hot coaches like Eric Bieniemy. That would have been my power play. Calling one of those hot coaches that was doing some things in the NFL that's everybody like, wow. Not the coach like Mike McCarthy that was on a downward spiral. Now, so that I won't be talking like I have my foot in my mouth, I did say this during the offseason. Mike McCarthy, and this is just from my limited knowledge of everything, that I said that, maybe Mike McCarthy would bring in guys that would help elevate where he's inefficient at. Meaning that they brought in everything that we love about the Minnesota Vikings defense. That coach, George Edwards, they brought him in. Maybe he will be able to propel this situation. And they brought in Al Harris that can help out the DBs on the one-on-one encounters. So I was looking at the wrong thing and I missed the whole boat. Jim Harbaugh, yeah, he was pretty good. Yeah. Bring Richard back. This is from Asher. That shipped and sell, man. Bruce Arians, he's gone, man. He's coaching the Buccaneers. I don't blame him for looking at this team. Which one, Smith? Let me know. Lincoln Riley. Yeah, he's pretty good. Lincoln Riley's is pretty good. Other worlds. Lincoln Riley's. Yeah, Lincoln Riley. Let me do this real quick. Hope that wasn't playing all the way. I don't know why they did that. Let me do this. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to the nation. Let me know where y'all are from. Let me know where you all are from as well while I set up this thing. Uncle Charles, what's good, fam? Appreciate you. It's Mike's first year. I'll give him at least 2 years. It's from Nicholas. He granted 2 years. So here's the question, Nicholas. You say you give him 2 years. So by this year being a mulligan, do that necessarily mean 3? So that means you give him next year as a fresh start, and then his second year will be his third year, collectively speaking. Right? I see Nevada in the house, Rochester, South Texas. Shout out to South Texas, and shout out to Oak Cliff, everybody that's over there in Oak Cliff, South Dallas, everybody in that area. Appreciate y'all. Fort Worth, appreciate everybody that's in those cities in the area. Honolulu, appreciate you. ATL, shout out to ATL, get down. What's up with you, Jessica? Shout out to you, Uncle Charles again. What's good with you, California? Knows how to party. California. South Carolina in the house. Really appreciate you. New Jersey and Tennessee. Yeah, give all y'all Round of applause there. Ohio State blows. Oh, man, East Side Harold. Leave Ohio State alone. P. Moore, Killer Cali. Appreciate you all that's tuning in. Eric Bieniemy for head coach / offensive coordinator. Yeah, some people do things so well that they will be looked upon as if, okay, we'll bring you in. Jay Versa from Florida. Yeah, we'll bring you in. But we would want you to also have extended duties as it relates to play calling. That's another thing. Just like with Mike McCarthy. Like, they brought him in. And Mike McCarthy, although he might have been joking, but he lied to kick it, just from what he said. Hey, I didn't really watch every play, but I watched every play, right? That's what he said, right? So Mike McCarthy angle was like, dog, how can I buy myself more time? 2020 is cheeks. Yes, you're right. You 1,000% right. How can I buy myself more time? Well, Kellen Moore. Let me make him and elevate him. Continue to call the plays. Let me bring in a Mike Nolan. Let him be the defense. And if Mike McCarthy is smart, H-Town, get down. Appreciate your East Side. If Mike McCarthy is so smart, then he can buy himself 5 to 6 years. Because at the end of his second or third year, people are not going to be looking at Mike McCarthy to fall on the sword. They're going to be looking at everything like with all of these weapons, with all of these talent. Hey, man, Kellen Moore, you got to go, right? So they get Kellen Moore up out the paint. He brings in his philosophy of calling the plays or what have you. He buys himself another 2 to 3 years. And as well as with Mike Nolan can fall on the sword. Tom Sula can fall on the sword. And then it can be the George Edwards guy as finally becoming the defensive coordinator. You see how this thing goes? That's how you, and if you get in good with the Joneses, that's how you can triculate this thing all the way down the line. Let me know if I'm lying. What's up, Marty from Indiana? Appreciate you. Get the Chiefs offensive coordinator, make him our offensive coordinator. Byron Joe, that ain't going to work, though. That is not going to work. That is not going to work. It sounds like a good idea. But they're gonna be like,
Oh, no.
because here's why it won't work. I got to give you the laugh, because he's not going to leave the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator job when you got Pat Mahomes, you got Tyreek Hill, you got an unlimited amount of resources as it relates to running backs over there, to come over here to Dallas land, to have 4 or 5 press conferences a week, and then also be on the hot seat every time a play don't go right. So he's going to look at this like, nah, I'm good where I'm at. Now, here's the outlier for Jerry Wayne Jones, and I'm not trying to hate on Jerry. Here's what I'm not trying to hate on Jerry. But I got to call the facts of facts. And you guys can let me know whether or not I'm right or I'm wrong. There's no salary cap as it relates to hiring and firing coaches. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. There's no salary cap as it relates to coaching, meaning that if Bill Belichick is out of contract and Jerry Jones is sitting back in his yacht, sipping on his Johnny Walker Blue, just chilling, and he's sitting back and he's thinking like, well, Bill Belichick he's not on the contract. I can pay him whatever I want. Let me know if I'm wrong. So that's what gives me with this. If you really want to win, if I really want to win, if I'm a billionaire and I don't like this team, right? I love this team. And he said there's no amount of money that will stop me from getting to the Super Bowl, then I know he's lying right there, because I would have been on the phone with Bill Belichick and said, hey, you did all of this when you had, hear me out, Tom Brady. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to call you to do all of this with my particular quarterback, I meant to say. That's why Dirty Red, let me see, make $5,000 less than Wade. And see my dog over here. He was saying that because he boy, that Jerry boy, he really wanted Dirty Red though. He really wanted Jason Garrett. He really did. Law, we don't won't happen that much ego. They stubborn. This is from let me see. I can barely read it here. Who said that? Somebody said it went away. Say it again. Somebody was stubborn. I think Jerry, you were saying Jerry's stubborn. I might be passing by. Yeah, might be passing by. But stubborn ego. Yeah. Here you go. Stubborn ego. Mr. DC Fitted. Ego. Edging God out. Meaning that you just walking out here saying that these are the things that I've done. Now, granted, 15 to 20 years ago, Plano, Texas, the area or star in Frisco was just a speck on the map. And, it was just nothing there. It was voided of a distance of nothing being there. And now, if you ever in the metro area or the Fort Worth area or the DFW, or if you ever fly into this area around here in Dallas land, or we just call everything Dallas, just make your trip. Make your trip over there in Frisco, Texas. Drive around. Just start looking around. If you got some money, buy some land, buy some. I'm not trying to be a financial advisor because I'm not one, but buy some land, buy some property out there. Because I guarantee you will make hand over fist in the next 15 more years, That area is just crazy, booming, and they got the Joneses written all over it. Arlington next. They clearing out everything for Arlington, right? They moving stuff around. It's horrible infrastructure as it relates to roads and stuff like that, and the type of dirt that they have out there, cracks all up in there. You got to buy new sets of tires if you drive around there for a long period of time. But you can thank the Joneses for all of that. Those guys are pioneers almost, Kyle Pitt, he's pretty bad, Tracy. Yeah, that boy good. I don't think that we're going to go that route yet. That's a whole nother angle for the Cowboys draft. I'm still on the defensive side, though. Hell, maybe even the Redskins. Let me see if I can read this one. You mean the Washington team, the Cowboys and the Eagles battle for last place. That's what I put up there. I put that blank there because we all know we fighting for last place, right? Nah, I'm just playing. It's a battle for the battle. Everybody's within arm reach. Now, here's the craziest thing of it all. Let me break this down right quick. And this is off my dome. The Giants. The Giants. They looked like they was going on the right direction, right? But now their quarterback out. And what my dog at Jay Form, what Dirty Red don't know how to do. what Coach Dirty Red don't know how to do, make those adjustments, right? So we're going to see Colt McCoy, shout out to him, Texas kid. We'll see what he's going to do in the next following weeks. But I think that hamstring is nothing to sneeze at. It's nothing to just go around and play with. Hamstrings, if he really, whatever happened, let me know what happened. Did he really pull it? Did he tweak it? Did he tear it? If it's something that he's going to have to be out for an extenuated time, it's going to be trouble. You might as well clock it up and you might as well shoot that thing. Or what was my gun at? You might as well shoot it goodbye. All right, so now we know that. Now, the Washington team, they just beat us. They got a good front four. The cornerbacks, the secondary suspect. Let's be real with it. They got one guy out there that you really have to worry about, and that's Fuller, and he's on one side of the field. So what they can do is they can play that precision ball because Alex, he's not gonna be that guy like a gunslinger. He's gonna take the underneath and he's gonna play it cautiously, right? And they got two good running backs. We just witnessed it, right? So now we got to look at this thing. Okay, all right, cool. From what it is right now, the most complete team in the NFC East is those crazy Washington team, a no-name team at that. A no-name team is the most complete team right now. And when we look at the Eagles or what have you, we just witnessed what they got. And just right, Natasha, we saw what they got. They got on paper, they got their starting quarterback, which I believe that we will want to see him play this whole year out. We don't want to see Jalen Hurts, right? I know somebody already closing up their guns on that, right. So on their front four as it relates to defense, they still got Cox, they still got those boys that can get out at you. They got some defensive front, and they got those try-hard cornerbacks that can get to the ball. So they got that on the defensive side. Their problem is, and they can't see it, and we see it, Cowboy Nation, we're not going to say it because we don't want to give them no troops, right? We see what their problems is. And I don't want to hear that it's Miles Sanders. I don't want to hear that it's the running back. And I for dog sure not going to want to hear that it's their tight ends because their tight ends are good. And I don't want to hear that it's Falcom and it's everybody else because they're elevating them and they're pumping them up when they was winning, right? So I don't want to hear it. But we ain't going to tell them their problems, right? You know, y'all don't want us to tell the Eagles their problems. Now, when we go back to the Dallas Cowboys, all right. Our wide receivers are intact. We got our starter running back in Tony Pollard. We got that situation, right? Our tight end, you know, he's pedestrian, but he's nobody to sneeze at all the way. So you got to look at it in that fashion. Our issue is that I'm going to speak freely on this. Andy Dalton, we be like, okay, he give you that splash, and you say, hey, what is that? And then we will have those warts as it relates to play calling. And like I said, as much as people cannot stand Kellen Moore, this is his second year, and Jerry Wayne Jones will not stand up and say, I made a mistake. For anything, if I was a betting man, he might be our next head coach. I'm just putting it out there. And, of course, our defense finally showing us that they can play. Now, I do know that this last game, people are going to look at it, but you think about it. If the head coach had some sense in his head, and I'm not trying to talk about Mike McCarthy. He been around football longer than me, right? If you want validation. And y'all already know validation is only good for parking, in my opinion. But if you have any sense of knowledge of the game, you punt the ball deep. Do not give them something cheap. You do not give the opposing team a short field so that they can score. Our self-inflicted wounds are so crazy that we fumble on our side of the field, and I'm not trying to point fingers at Ezekiel Elliott, so quote-unquote the best running back in the NFL supposedly, right? I'm being sarcastic, you know. I'm sarcastically speaking, by the way. Nevertheless, we got Ezekiel Elliott. Put the ball on the ground on our side of the field. We then in return, have a head coach who I guess let John Bone Fossil do whatever he want to do. It's undisciplined. John Fossil said, hey, I'm going to go for it. When he's 4th and 15, head coach look over and say, okay, good. I don't veto that. I don't override that. You know, it's 4th and 10. He looked at John Fossil and said, hey, man, have at it. Do whatever you want. Look, I got to say this, man. I got to say this, Cowboy Nation. I know I get a lot of hate mail from this. But damn it, I'm the king of my castle. And if there's a light bulb on upstairs and I told the little ones to turn it off and it's still on, who you think is going to be the authoritative, demanding voice to make sure that that light bulb is off, right? I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but it's the buck stopped with me. The energy company is not finna bill my daughter. You know what I'm saying? The energy company is not finna do that. The energy company is not gonna say, okay, I have a bill in your daughter's name due to the fact that she left the light bulb on. No, that bill is gonna still come to law. They're not gonna look for her. So the same principle with the head coach. If he's the end all be all, and if it's a crazy, slow, I ain't gonna say the other word, play that's happening on the offensive side or the defensive side, the Bucs should stop with the head coach. They shouldn't be looking at Kellen Moore saying, well, why was this decision made here? Or they shouldn't be looking at if it's 4th and 15, why are you going for it, or 4th and 10? Why are you going for it on your side of the field? Zeke is the boss, is from Juan Cruz. He is the boss. Zeke is the boss, but right now, you know, he having that downward year right now, and his mojo is gone, and just what it is. His mojo is gone, but he can always bounce back. That's the thing about football and sports. You can always bounce back, and we all hoping that he bounce back, because from what I can hear from Jerry is that he's going to be here. He's going to be here. We ain't getting rid of him. Like, I'm not this guy that's going to always walk around and say, okay, get rid of this guy when you see the contract. The guaranteed is the guaranteed, right? I mean, just with Jalen, the guaranteed is the guaranteed money. With Amari Cooper, the guaranteed is guaranteed money. And Amari Cooper, right now, if you look at the stats or what have you, he's like top 4, top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Across the board as it relates to reception numbers, reception and numbers of yards. So it is what it is. Zeke Glass John says Zeke misses Dak. Yeah, maybe, you know, Zeke is Dak yin to his yang, or his yang to his yin, or however that thing goes. Could be the situation, baby. Eastside Harold says somebody on the practice squad can do better than Ezekiel Elliott. That's subjective, but I feel what you're saying. Here's the thing. And I'm not trying to bash Ezekiel Elliott on this topic right here. Teams still scout to stop Ezekiel Elliott. They do. Look back at the Washington tape, you will see that they also, when Ezekiel Elliott moved one side of the field, they slide to that side. When it's time for any of those end around those loops, they move and pull his way. That's just how it goes. I wish I can say otherwise. They still load in the box. They putting 8 and 9 men in the box. And a lot of times, when you collectively look at this thing, and you would say, man, you would think the veteran quarterback would carve this up, but they don't. And I know we can go back and forth with the offensive line, but it's a story of a different day. Natasha, $4.99 for your mind. Yeah, let me give you let me switch over here and give you a war chant right here.
This is Sparta!
Yeah, thank you for the fire donation. Your name will be entered into the hat there to win one of those little cover blankets. Let me see what you say. Kellen Moore, head coach, and Mike McCarthy fired like Wade Phillips. Yeah. Watch. Is there a scenario? Like, let's be real. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100, Cowboy Nation. That's an interesting topic. Would you guys think that Jerry would pick Mike McCarthy over Kellen Moore, or what the odds would be? Or would there be more so Kellen Moore over Mike McCarthy? Yeah. Here's a great questioning here, or comment or statement from Jessica. She laments, complaining not going to change nothing about the loss. 8 games, it's about learning from mistakes and stepping up and winning out on games at time. out one game at a time. Okay, I can't read today. Okay, winning out one game at a time. Yeah, yeah. You can look at it like, okay, all right. So right now we're 3-8. We got 5 games left, right? So we got to look at it like one game at a time. We are now 0-0. So if we can just find a way to inch out or scratch out one game. But in order to learn from your mistake, it's a crazy thing about it, right? And life got all of these things in line. They got the stop sign for a reason at the end of the corner. Maybe somebody was going down that road that didn't look both ways, pulled across the street. So they said, hey, let's put a stop sign there. Let's paint it red so people can see it. Let's make it bright so people can see it. Let's put some reflector lights at night so people can see it. They put that there so it's a warning. Not saying that, that four-way or the intersection there is a horrible spot, but it's there for a warning. And I think that when people are complaining, they are saying that, hey, there need to be a stop sign there. There need to be a traffic light there, basically. That's a better way to put it. There need to be a traffic light there. And sometimes you can talk to each other about it, like the people within your house, and nothing changed. Then you have to go to the zoning commission. You have to call the state. You have to call the city code and say, hey, I demand that there should be a stop sign there. A stop sign or a traffic light, something need to be there. But that course of action never changed unless the people go out there and cause notice or bring attention to. And the thing is, I believe, Jessica, and I know, I feel your core energy, PVO, positive vibes only. I live on that message. I live on the mindset that, hey, we can change anything. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I live on that mantra, through his stripes we are healed. I live on that prayer, right? We live on that creed. We live on that side of the table. But my thing is, I think that there's a right way to complain about something, and there's a wrong way to watch things happen and sitting there saying, well, the house was on fire, but I'm not a fireman, so I'm not going to put the water, I'm not going to go get the water and put it out. That's not my job, right? So that's how I look at it. I think that the people, the fans that's here, that's watching, and the people that comment, I think that they are not complaining. They're just frustrated. And they saying, damn it, we want that stop sign to be down there by tomorrow, or we want that stoplight to be there at least. And what Jerry's been doing is saying that intersection is cool because I don't like the color red and I don't want that big old stop sign there. The people should be aware enough to not drive at night. Or people should be cognitive enough to not go there during a certain time. And I think that that's why the discourse is with the Joneses versus the Cowboys fans. Because I think a third of you guys were Cowboy fans before Jerry bought the team. And the most devastating thing was ever when he fired Coach Landry, right? We was like, God, dog, how you fire Landry? But although we wasn't winning anything, right? And then he brought in Jimmy Johnson. And that's where I get a lot of people. I see a lot of people put in there, well, Jimmy Johnson first year, he went 1-15, which is cool, which is valid evidence that he did went 1-15. So y'all telling me, and let me know if I'm wrong, that this roster, even with the injuries, is equivalent to the 1989 Dallas Cowboys roster? Let me know in the chat box if I'm right or wrong. Is it equivalent? Like they had, and I know that they had Ed Too Tall on that 89's team, but he was 38 at the time. Let me know if that team, even with our injuries, was equivalent. Like the 1989 Dallas Cowboys were equivalent to the 2020 Dallas Cowboys. Like the 1989 Cowboys had an equivalency of an Amari Cooper, equivalency of a C.D. Lamb, an equivalency of a Michael Gallup and the equivalency. You know what I'm saying? Like I go on and on of these level of players, and that was before Emmett, of course. Yeah, the equivalency of an Ezekiel Elliott. And what made Jimmy Johnson smarter than whatever we can probably fathom is that within his contract, he had full control of player personnel and decisions. So that's something that we don't have. We do not have full control of player personnel. That's still under Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones circumvent that by empowering his son for Stephen Jones. Well, Stephen Jones' positioning, he held that position since Jimmy left. It's that player personnel director, you know. So it goes on and on. Boy, the Jones family, boy, they deep, baby. They deep. We love them, though, boy. They can't nobody sell more than them. They can't, man. They are some wild cats, man. Was Novacek and Irvin on the 89 team? I think in 89, Novacek was on the Cardinals, I believe. Let me know if I'm wrong. I think that he was on the Cardinals at that time. I could be off on it, man. Please don't jog my memory, man. I'm old over here. I'm just playing with y'all. Yeah. Let me see. Gabriel, Jimmy Johnson curse was when we started going downward because he didn't like Jimmy Johnson having all of the control. Well, here's the situation. And you go back, oh, man, I wish I could just play these clips. And I know this is like going all the way back to the history. And I know some novelists, historians will say, yeah, like in that interview, I think it was like an all or nothing documentary, like Jerry Jones still said he had the final say. But Jimmy said that, yeah, he had full control. So it was like one of those balance of power. And everything you need in life, you still need the balance of power. Now, what happened is that when Jimmy left, or when Jimmy was kicked out, or when Jimmy willingly walked away from it, you know, that story can be said so many ways. What happened was that position was open. Well, how can I make sure that I never release that power? How can I make sure that I never relinquish that power? Oh, I give it to my son. Because even though my son may have disagreements with me or different feelings with me, I know my son. I can still call my son and be like, hey, now, come on, Stephen Jones. Come on with it now. You know I really like this player. Now, I'm going to let you have one, and I'm going to get the other one. Or it could be a situation whereas when it's your son, even though y'all have a disagreement, so even though when y'all have a this hardship, y'all can still go over each other's house, sip on your Johnny Walker Blue and talk it out like men and not be mad at each other for the rest of your life, like Jerry and Jimmy. They still mad at each other. That's just like they still upset about each other. Yeah, it is what it is. They both blame Jerry and Jimmy have to go ego issues. Yeah, and trust me, Jimmy, he's not off the hook too. He got a real big ego. He got a real big ego. But I think, and let me know if I'm wrong, I think from his perspective of ego, and let me give credit to the person that said this. This is from, is it Tyra B? Tyra B. I apologize if I murdered your name. Charge it to my head and not my heart. It probably Tiara. Is it Tiara or Tyra? Let me know. I apologize. I really do. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. Yeah, but let me know if I'm wrong on this. Hear me out. Hear me out. Jerry's ego is, I'm rich. At the end of the day, he said, wait a minute, I'm rich. You know, and both of these guys are wealthy. You know, both of these guys, it's just that like, Jerry's on a whole nother spectrum type of wealth, right? But Jerry's ego, I'm rich. Look, I'm going to tell y'all a quick story. I had a guy, I was over there at Jackson State. We was coming off a game. And you know how you get those guys that's selling hats, T-shirts, and stuff like that? Tiara, bro. Okay, I'm sorry, Glass Giant, but you know how you got them guys. It was back in the days. It had to be like in 04, 05. I was at Jackson State, and this guy was selling CDs and DVDs out of the trunk of his car, and he had 3 for $15. He was selling for 3 for $15. Quick story. And it was at the Jackson State versus Alcorn game. We won. We whooped Alcorn tail, you know. And to make a long story short, this guy was selling CDs and DVDs out of his trunk. And I balled. He had 3 for $15. I gave him a 20. So I'm sitting here waiting for my 5. And I was like, dog, you shorted me. Where my 5? And this dude, you know, he had these big old dreads, you know, had these big old blue blockers on, the sun shades and stuff like that. And he looked me straight in my face, and he said, I will buy your money. He said, I will buy your money. I'm trying to keep it PG-13. And I said, dude, you crazy. He pulled out a wad, Cowboy Nation. He pulled out a wad like literally this thick. He said, I'll buy your money. And he threw 20 at me. And I said, man, I wanted to hit him so bad. But all I wanted was my 5. I guess he couldn't count. So I guess that was his way of being egoist. And he was like, I will buy your money. He threw 2 20s at me. I took the 2 20s and because I was poor. I was poor, man. But that always stuck on me. Like, this dude had so much money that he was slanging CDs and DVDs for 3 for $15. He probably couldn't count. But his ego was like, I'll buy your money, you know? Oh, Tiara, like the crown. Oh, my bad. Appreciate you, Tiara. I love you, Tiara. All right, so my thing is, that's the type of ego that Jerry Wayne got. Now, the ego that Jimmy got is a whole nother angle. You know, he's got football knowledge ego. Like, he can look at a player and say, all right, oh, you late. Oh, Cedric Wilson. Let me use Cedric Wilson as an example. Oh, Cedric Wilson, you late. There's the door. What you mean? No, there's the door. Noah Brown, you has been elevated. Cedric Wilson, there's the door. Coach, I'm just late. He got that type of ego. He got like football type of ego. Like, I can elevate players. I can turn boys into men. I can elevate a team from nothing to something. You know, even though his stint when he was coaching in Miami, although he had took, 3 years off between the Dallas Cowboys and going to Miami or what have you, they never had a losing season. Matter of fact, they won, I believe, 2 playoff games out of the 4 years that he was there. Although they didn't go far in the playoff, I'm thinking that in that course of time, since the time frame from Miami to now, we only got 1 more playoff win than Jimmy Johnson. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. We only got 1 more playoff than Jesus. If you look at it collectively speaking. Good night. This is from Asher. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I will be up in the morning if the Lord allows, and we can talk about that, some more stuff. But yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. So it is 11:53 where I'm at, so we can keep rapping. I'm going to try to wrap it up in the next 7 minutes or so. The Cowboys, we still got our foot in the race. And this division is so poor. This division is so poor that nobody's running off with it. But right now, it appears, like I said, the Washington football team, the no-name team, is the healthiest team and the most complete team. They do have a coach that made it to the Super Bowl. He's not a Super Bowl winning coach, but he made it to the Super Bowl. He preaches and teaches on defense. And if they can run the ball, make the short area field small, and on top of that, if they don't shoot themselves in the foot, they might be the most solid team in this particular division as of November the 30th, 2020. Now, the second team is Coach Judge's team, who's led by Jason Garrett. Here's the thing. Jason Garrett knows everybody in NFC East. If anything, you can count on Jason Garrett to know his opposition as it relates to NFC East. And they're the second place team right now. From my opinion, they might be first, they might be second. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the chat box. But I will say that by until we know what happening to their quarterback, it could be a detriment to their team because Colt McCoy, he's one of those splash guys. He may be only good for one game, and we already know how that thing can unfold, right? They already missing they already missing their running back, and they're missing some other guys, and it could be a situation. Now, there you got the Dallas Cowboys. I think that we are in the bottom of the bottom, but the Eagles are the Eagles. They are a hot and cold team, more so on the cold side, because I'm not going to tell you guys their problems right now. But I can tell you that they're not that much better than the Dallas Cowboys. And if we had a quarterback that was a half of an inch better than Ben DiNucci, we would have beat them, you know. And I know a lot of people going to be looking at this thing and they be saying to themselves, nah, law, you know. They scored on the last play. They scored on the play before that. But if we had a half of a quarterback and we could find a right tackle, if the ego stuff would be just thrown out the window, and if we pick up the phone, that's the only thing that I'm mad about, too. You know good and well Lyle Collins wasn't showing up during the OTAs when it was a Zoom meeting. You should have been on the phone. Yeah, the Washington team did sweep us. They did. Yeah, whatever. I'm not sold on run. Riverboat Run is from Ali. Ali, I don't know, man. For this guy to battle through cancer and still have his team positioning themselves to be the first place team in the NFC East, as poor as this division is, that's every excuse in life to say, nah, they supposed to be 0 and whatever. You know, they supposed to be 0 and 11. Their head coach was out, going in and out for chemo treatment and things like that. That guy, shoot, I tip my hat off for him, man. Have y'all seen those therapy sessions that they got to go through? Mr. DC fitted Jalen Ramsey over Zeke. Y'all know I'm defensive guy, so I'll be biased when I say something like that. You know, I'm defensive guy, so, you know, and I like Ezekiel Elliott. Matter of fact, he was one of the guys that I said, okay, if we get him, we can probably propel ourselves. And I was looking at Ezekiel Elliott, probably how the Cowboys were looking at him, through the bubbles or through the lenses of being a guy that can help out Tony Romo. And I can't dog the Joneses on drafting Ezekiel Elliott for those reasonings. If you guys want me to be real with you all, I can't dog the Joneses for drafting Ezekiel Elliott for those reasonings. Why you say that, Law? Because in 2014, they was looking at it like, man, if the Dallas Cowboys can have that type of record, a 12-4 record, with a DeMarco Murray, can you close your eyes and imagine what they would do with even a better DeMarco Murray in an Ezekiel Elliott with the likings of a Tony Romo? And that's what they was looking at it as, to be 100. And Tony Romo, he got out there, he saw Dak Prescott doing his thing, doing his magic, and Tony Romo was like, shoot, I want to get some of this in that preseason game against the Seattle Sea Chickens. I can't stand them. And the rest is history. The run was over with for Tony. That's just how it goes, man. It's just flat out how it goes. Unfortunately, that's the cup of tea that happened with that. Dez is right, yeah. Tiara, true, yeah. True, let Byron Jones be be a lesson. Yeah, you always look at it like a cornerback can last you 8 to 12 years. And then at the 10th and 11th and 12th year, hell, you can flip them over to being a safety, and that can last you even longer. So they made their bed on it, and they didn't decide to keep Byram. And I think Byram is having a solid year this year. All right, Cowboy Nation, that's all the time that I have for this beautiful moment. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. We've been on YouTube for, about an hour now. I really appreciate those who've been following this page. Shout out to those that's on the Facebook group. I really appreciate you all that's there, and on the Twitter and the Twitch, and as well as the Periscope. We live on all of those platforms. It went pretty well, and I thank you all. I'm still wanting us to win. I know that you guys, some people like to tank it out. Maybe we get some better draft picks, but I want the mentality to be winning. And regardless of the situation with Mike McCarthy, I already made it up in my mind. Maybe I was wrong on him. I did the video, but I said also I'm going to give the man a mulligan. So if next year, y'all know me, I'm going to give him wholly you know what. If I see some of these same situations that's happening, and I'm going to go 1,000% medieval, y'all know I'm going to get mad. But we're not going to speak those things into the existence, right? Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be established. So I'm going to say that, hey, this year's not over with, but I'm going to say that next year, Standalone Complex, really appreciate you. Next year, man, we better not see these things. We better not see these things, and they better do right by certain players. I'm not going to say who, but they better do right by a certain player as well. All right, so let me see. Do y'all want me to go out on the cool, laid-back music, or y'all want the war music? What y'all want, man? What y'all want, Cowboy Nation? What y'all want? Y'all let me know, and I'm going to let you guys steer the ship on this one. I'm going to read your comments over here. Next 5 game is ours, yeah. Cassie says, good night. And good night, good night. Robert, yeah, far from over. It's not over until that fat lady sings, right? Armstrong Rod says, okay, let me see. I see cool music. I see one war music. Yeah. What y'all got? I'm ready to crank it up. Oh man. All right, so theme. Okay, all right. Yeah. The theme. Here we go. Turn me up, baby. Yeah. Hey. It's late at night. It's all right. Tiara said, war music for what? Hey. Let me see some fire in the chat, though. Let me see some fire in there. I feel y'all. Let's go. At the end of the day, we tell them, ain't no party like a Cowboy party, 'cause a Cowboy party don't stop. Yeah. From the womb to the tomb, we representing Cowboy Nation, but we tell them, hey, come on. Go. Let's go. Always say this right here, Cowboy Nation. A prize fighter, even when he's down, he's continue to swing blows, unless he's Nate Robinson, right? But if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs, if you can blame it on someone else, no, you don't do that. But you got to keep your head focused. You got to continue to fight. When you're up against the struggles, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fall, you may conquer. See this thing through. Even hope may seem but futile, then with trouble may be beset. Remember, you're facing what other legends have met. So keep your head high. See this thing through. Continue to fight. Let's continue to grind and shine. It's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. We out. Peace.